Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Sarah Wong. Our top stories tonight. Health authorities voice concern over hospital capacity as daily COVID infections remain above 3,000. Financial Secretary rebuked accusations of poor handling after tens of thousands of people wrongly disqualified from consumption vouchers. And Team USA complete a sweep of men's 100 meters medals at the World Championships. Hong Kong's daily COVID infections have remained above 3,000 for the fifth consecutive day. Health officials admitted the continuous upward trend could soon put public hospitals under strain. Joanna Ho reports.
Hong Kong tallied 3,486 COVID infections today, 173 of which were imported. That is nearly double the amount of cases from just 2 weeks ago, and the trend worried health authorities. Chuang Shok-kwan from the Center for Health Protection said if the upward trend continues, it could put the healthcare system under pressure. She added the effective reproductive number has grown to 1.7. That means more than one person could be infected by one single case. Across the city, the COVID cluster at Buddhist Hospital's palliative care ward continued to grow with a 10th patient now infected, on top of 5 medics. 9 people have now tested positive from the orthopedic ward at Queen Elizabeth Hospital, the latest being 2 nursing students and a patient care assistant. An elderly patient who was diagnosed on Friday at North District Hospital triggered an investigation, which led to the discoveries of 7 more cases. The male medical ward has since stopped new admissions and suspended visiting arrangements. On a separate note, Chuang poured cold water on the government advisor's call to scrap daily RAT tests for students. She said the policy is effective and minimizes the chance of class suspensions triggered by outbreaks. Joanna Ho, HKIBC.
The hospital authority expressed regret over what it called misleading reports that it had prescribed unregulated drugs. It came after some public hospitals prescribed mainland-produced paracetamol to patients, triggering safety concerns. The authority emphasized the medication was procured by the government via legitimate channels during the 5th COVID wave, when the painkiller was in serious shortage. Another medication, sulfoxetine sodium injection used to treat bacterial infections, was bought under the approval of the Department of Health, but it refused to disclose how much of the medication was purchased and at what price. The Financial Secretary denied failing to perform due diligence after tens of thousands of people were accidentally disqualified from the second batch of the consumption vouchers. Paul Chan said they can file a review application by providing simple proof such as bank statements. Chloe Feng reports.
In an unexpected twist, the government last month tightened the eligibility of the consumption vouchers. Those who have permanently left Hong Kong or plan on doing so will not receive the second batch of $5,000. Up to 240,000 people fit into that category after they have withdrawn their MPF funds by declaring they will no longer seek employment in the SAR. But many of them never left the city and were shocked to find out through a text message last week that they will miss out on the windfall. In his weekly blog entry, Financial Chief Paul Chen admitted that some disqualified residents have indeed returned to the city to work and live. He urged these people to lodge an application for review by filling in a form and submitting it to the Secretariat by email or post. Simple proof should also be provided, and they can be in the form of bank statements, tax returns, utility bills, and even hospital appointment records. Those who are unable to provide such documents can specify their reasons, and the Secretariat will make an individual ruling. Chen pledged to assess their claims in a lenient manner and minimize the inconvenience. As of last night, 30,000 applications have been received. Those who wish to talk to someone face-to-face can visit one of the Secretariat's 8 temporary service centers over the coming week. Chen dismissed calls for authorities to verify the status of residents by checking their tax returns, saying this is a breach of privacy laws. The second batch of the vouchers will be handed out from August the 7th. Recipients have until Saturday to confirm which payment platform they wish to use. Chloe Fong, HKIBC.
Commuters in a hurry will have to fork out more for a taxi ride starting today. From midnight, the flagpole was raised by $3 across the board. That means a minimum charge of $27 for an urban trip, $23.50 if you hail a ride in the new territories, and $22 for the blue cabs running exclusively on Lantau. The incremental charge was also bumped up by 10 to 20 cents, translating to an overall fare hike of between 11.5% and 13.8%. The adjustment, which is the first in more than 5 years, turned away some passengers this morning. But cabbies are confident business will not be affected in the long run. Students who set the Diploma of Secondary Education exam this year may struggle to sleep well before Wednesday when they will find out their grades. A support group said there's no need to panic for those who stumble, while vocational institutes are offering another way out. More from Joanna Ho.
Wednesday will arguably be the most important day of their lives for many teenagers in Hong Kong. Around 50,000 students who set the Diploma of Secondary Education exam this year will find out their grades, which will determine their chances of getting into university. Student support group The Hokkien Club predicted those who score 20 points from their best 5 DSE subjects will have a good chance. But student consultant Ng Po-shing believes the door will still be open to those who barely missed the score by 1 to 3 points. He explained the number of candidates this year dipped to a record low, while many who set the exam are planning to study abroad.
今年入到八大嘅分數咧，應該係比去年咧下降嘅。
That means less competition, he said, and a lower entry requirement than previous cohorts. He suggested candidates adopt an enterprising approach when selecting programs. Apart from grades, students are reminded to take note of admission quotas and the popularity of programs, which can also affect their enrollment chances. Medical programs and other popular subjects, meanwhile, may not budge on the admission score at all, as they are traditionally favored by high-achieving students. But the club urged students to consider engineering and science programs, which have an abundant quota and may accept students with slightly lower scores. The Caritas Institute of Higher Education, which offers self-funded programs, could be another way out for those who miss out on a university ticket. President Kim Mak insisted its nursing, physiotherapy, and social work programs offer solid career pathways. The Vocational Training Council, on the other hand, has already received 27,000 applications for its 140 or so programs. Joanna Ho, HKIBC.
Overseas, a cargo plane carrying military equipment has crashed in northern Greece, killing all 8 crew members on board and triggering fears of a chemical spill. The Soviet-era aircraft was transporting ammunition from Serbia to Bangladesh. Emergency workers huddled in the Greek village of Antiphilippon while a cargo plane plowed into a cornfield. All 8 crew members on board were killed after an engine failure took down the Antonov AN-12 aircraft operated by Ukrainian carrier Meridian. A string of explosions were heard after the crash as the Soviet-era plane carried 11.5 tons of Serbian mortar ammunition. We saw the fire, but we did not really know what it was, this resident recalled. We wanted to come closer, but the police wouldn't allow us. This woman, meanwhile, said the crash sent children screaming and shouting. Serbia confirmed that the military equipment was picked up in the city of Nice, bound for Bangladesh. It was due to make stops in Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and India before reaching its final destination of Dhaka. Fearing chemical spills, police officers asked journalists at the crash site to wear masks. Local residents were ordered to stay indoors and turn off air conditioners, even as a scorching heat wave swept across southern Europe. Apart from the cause of the crash, investigators will also make sure all dangerous chemicals and explosives are cleared from the scene. On to the weather now. Isolated showers tomorrow will provide little relief to the searing heat, with temperatures between 29 and 33 degrees. Brace for another sizzling week ahead. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our main news for this Sunday night. Join us for updates at 11. I'm Sarah Wong. Thanks for watching. Good night.